Okay. I think we're good. Yeah, okay. I think we're good. I think we're set up. No one's probably watching. That's okay. That is a-okay. All right. Hopefully we get some viewers here, but until then, I'm just going to do some validation. Um, hmm. All right. Hi, Scott. You're gonna embarrass me. Hi. Okay, so this is just... Apparently I did this one already and it just didn't get taken care of. Where's this from? Ohio. This is weird because like I'm just talking to nothing and I have no music on. And I should probably put some music on because I should. Could you share it for me? Because okay. What's happening? Did someone do these already? Yeah, could you share it? I'm just like afraid to go to Facebook now because it'll be on the stream and I don't know how to edit things. So, and this failed too. That's unfortunate. Probably approximately no people are going to watch this stream, but that's okay. Well, one person. It's going to be you. Failed. What is happening? Did someone go through and do these without filling out the spreadsheet? What is happening? Why are these all failing? Okay. Ah ha ha ha. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. This is exactly what I was hoping for. So we're gonna do a little edit on him. Of course, everything's loading slow right now. Oh. Did we actually just get a good... This is a 10 RAC sequence, and it looks like it might actually be okay. Can we edit it enough that it's not a mess? We will see. Lord. I'm really bad at like talking through doing this while I'm doing it, so if y'all have any questions, drop it in chat. Whoa. This is actually a super clean read, despite being 10 RAC. Okay. Okay. Really? So what I'm doing now is I'm just kind of checking to make sure that I have the right species name here. So I don't see a type specimen here, and it's not one I'm super used to. Where is this voucher from? Like, this does seem like a relatively legitimate name for this fungus, though. Described from South Carolina. This is not... There we go. Oh, there's like nothing uploaded to GenBank. Borage. Oh. Ah. Okay, it seems like a reasonable name. I'm gonna go with it. Yeah, I'm gonna go with it. Okay, so despite the low RAC, it was a really clean group of reads, and it does match another specimen. So this is usually a pretty good sign that what I have is like legit, even if it is only 10 RAC, right? Like it's what it's supposed to be. So, yay. Okay, so I uploaded it. We're gonna refresh external data. I'm gonna have to put this in provisional species name because Mycomap won't populate the variety correctly without it. And then OMDL number, just for our own records. And then the projects. Unfortunately, waiting for web pages to load isn't the most interesting thing, but that's okay because I can just load up the next one while that refreshes. So we're gonna do that. There we go. Go. Save. Save. And good. Ooh, well, that's gonna be an entoloma. I bet. It's gonna be a good little guy. And the sequence failed. Rip. These aren't great numbers. We've been kind of struggling with the quality of the flow cells recently, and I'm sure this has got something to do with it. Or they have something to do with this amount of failed Baospora myosura. Ay. What do we got? Okay, this is a better RIC. Like, this is what I want to see. I don't want to see 10. I want to see in the hundreds. Probably making weird faces on stream. So we search for the forward motif here to figure out what our reverse reads are. And then I'm just going to select the other group, because see how they're not aligning. So these need to be reverse complemented. And then aligned again. And it'll take a second. While it's doing that, let's go check here. Yeah, it's gonna... Baospora and myosura. Where is this described from? Myosura. would help if I spelled it right. There we go. Well, it's a Sweden. It's from Sweden. So when you see something like this, you're gonna kind of want to make sure um, it's matching European sequences. But this is also Singer. Singer also is involved in this. Yeah. Okay. So we have 100% matches to European sequences here. Yeah, but if you look, this query cover is really bad, right? But it's only ITS2 and 5, so it's partial 5.8S and ITS2. So it's just a lot shorter, right? This doesn't have the whole sequence because what we're sequencing is ITS1, 5.8S, and ITS2. So despite the bad query cover here, these are good references. These were probably done with Illumina, which can't handle as long of a read as Nanopore can. But yeah, this is definitely the fungus that this is. I'm still going to check the sequence in case there's any weird ambiguous nucleotides, but there probably aren't, judging by how in concurrence all of those are. I might need to reverse complement one of these. Nope, yep, see, it's good. No worries. Okie dokie. So yeah, that is a confirmation. It is definitely Baospora myosura. Really don't feel the need to get into more detail on this one because it's just a ridiculous amount of matches, right? So many matches. And then we're gonna prep it for GenBank, and then we're just gonna move on for this one. This one was quick. I kind of hope I get a difficult one, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay. Need to add OMDL number. And then we need to add it to the projects. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop it in chat because I have no idea what to say. I'm not good at this whole talking head thing. It's just not my strong suit. So comments are welcome. Questions are very welcome. What's an ITS? Oh, thank you, Scott. ITS stands for Internal Transcribe Spacer. It is. It's just a conserved section of DNA that doesn't evolve terribly quickly. So it's for a lot of groups of fungi, it is a good way to kind of barcode them, right? Like barcoding is just taking a section of DNA that is useful for identifying a species, right? And for different groups of life, there's different DNA sections that we can use for this. For for fungi, a lot of times it's going to be ITS. Sometimes it's LSU. Sometimes there's a couple other ones, but that's my input on the subject. Am I audible? Am I too quiet? I can't see my own stream, so I have no idea. That's also good. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, thank you, Scott. Thanks for being here so I don't feel like I'm talking to myself. Because I feel like I'm talking to myself. How do people do this? All right. So, one base pair off, one base pair, one base pair. This one's 2 off, 3 off. This one's kind of a weird one because it might actually be reasonable to split these out into... Actually, no. I think it's good because... Alright, I'm going to go with this temp code even though a couple of them are a little further away. At some point, it might be useful to split them out, but there's definitely like a species complex or something happening here. That's okay. We can call it that for now. I don't know if anybody's really wanting to get that granular with Archenia species. Those are the same sequence. Probably isn't even the one I'm looking at. That is indeed the one I'm looking at. Okay, so what's this one? So a little bit of a visual variation. Okay, so that was that one. This one's going to be 3 away. So I usually like to put like a little explanation of my thought process here. Honestly, it helps future me because like I'm not gonna remember everything I've ever done, and if I run into one and it had like a really complicated reason, I don't want to just like say it's something without adding a little detail, but I'm also a little bit neurotic. So, take that as you will. Like really detail oriented, and I'd like I need it to be just so. Take that as you will. Add them to the projects. And then provisional. So when we have a temp code like this, I want to add them to the provisional species name field here. That will cause it to be grouped with everything else under that temp code, right? And so we can kind of get an idea of like the range of it, where we found it. This one is pretty wide ranging. And looking at the DNA, like the actual sequences in here, it looks like we probably have an East Coast species and like a West Coast species here. Oh, 2 West Coast species. So we've got CaO2, we've got CaO1, and then there's a Pacific Northwest one that's also a little further away. Like there's definitely a species complex happening here with Archenia, so someone needs to look at it. At the moment, that person is not me. I'm just here to validate sequences and make sure that they are Gucci. Validated. And I'm just copying these with Control C. It's easy. No. Notable. Not really. Ready. OMDL. Added that already. Alright, on to the next. as soon as this loads. It's gonna be Weedman Zila. Lamanospora, maybe? Uh, might not be anything with that if that reads in consensus. Oh yeah, that's a fail. So Mycena. This is a Weed Manzella. Weed Manzella, not a Mycena. So we're just gonna trash him. He's not a good sequence, unfortunately. So we just move that to trash and get rid of him. And then we're going to mark this as not validated. Seriously, y'all, I'm bad at being a talking head, so if you don't know what you're looking at, feel free to pipe up. I'm trying to talk while I do this, but I am so used to just kind of putting my head down and going that I might not explain everything well. So don't feel bad at all for asking questions. I encourage it, in fact. As I do move through this pretty quickly. Caracalis. Oh, that might be. This plate. This plate is not doing great. Unfortunately. Yeah, this is also throwing a Mycena sequence, and that's definitely not Mycena. Honestly, I don't know what it is, but it does not look Mycena to me, and that's a low REC sequence, so also just going right to the trash, unfortunately. It's not ideal to have so much stuff fail, but it just happens sometimes, unfortunately. Nope. Just something we have to deal with. It's half the reason. I can check. Do you think that was actually a Mycena? It looks like Melaleuca to me. Oh, excuse me. Here, let me pull the blast up again. I mean, it might be a legit sequence, but it's only 10 RAC. IN7? Oh, of course it doesn't have a local blast. It's coming back as IN7. Maybe it's a Mycena. You know what? Here, we'll do a new blast search so we get a proper blast, and I will come back to that. Were those the locals? Am I just really... No. Oh, there's no NCBI results. What? Okay, that's weird. I'm going crazy. This is why I'm a bad talking head. Okay, it's coming back as species IN7. Is this actually a good sequence? Did I almost trash a good sequence? Okay. It's the Pura group, right? Yeah, I think that actually is an okay sequence. What the frick? Okay. There's a weird amount of like low RIC things on this plate that are actually like good, Scott. Like I bet this is gonna actually be a pretty clean group of reads. So what I'm doing here basically, I saved the alignment and then I aligned it with math. You can use whatever alignment you want. But that one's just math's pretty quick to align. It's not a big deal for like when you have 10 reads like this, but if you have like a 500 read sequence, it's kind of nice to not have to wait 10 minutes for it to align itself. That said, I do have a pretty powerful computer, so I usually don't have many problems getting a quick alignment in. And then kind of like the cheat code of how I usually check if a sequence is... Oh, that would explain it. Yep. Yeah, that would... Bioinformatics. Yeah, I do have to keep that in mind. But usually what I end up doing to check and see if it is a good sequence is I will copy this consensus and then just compare it to whatever nanopore spit out. And usually if it's a super noisy sequence, you'll end up with a lot of positions that don't line up, right? So like see how right here it's on this bottom, there's a little peak. We don't want him. So I'm just gonna check and see what's causing that, but it's probably just, yeah, it's just sometimes on these repeating nucleotides, nanopore isn't great at reading when there's repeating nucleotides, and so sometimes you'll end up with like one extra. I'm not gonna change this sequence just for that, so I'm just gonna close out of this for now. So yeah, that is actually a solid sequence. Zach's bioinformatics filter came in clutch, I guess. So he's actually a good sequence. What a flippin' weird group of Mycena. Like, this does not look like a Mycena to me. I think it's the angle she took it at. So, we're gonna do this instead. Calidontes. So it's Calidontes. Okay. It just the bioinformatics filter keeps throwing me because like I'm so used to seeing how do you say, anything above 30 being really suspect or below 30 RIC being pretty suspect. But seeing trash sequences? Where? Oh, yeah. I know what yeah, I know what you mean. Okay, what am I doing? Yeah, basically. I'm used to seeing a bunch of just noise in the fast queue, which is fine. That's okay, it just means we are refining the process, which is good. You know, I did OMDL ones instead of fundus ones because I thought I might be getting distracted, but I'm actually moving through these pretty quickly. Okay. That's okay. Notable, no, GenBank, ready. This is really a weird section of Mycena. Like, they just don't look like what I would expect from Mycena. We have a ton of sequences of this one too. Wow. That is a whole heck of a lot of sequences of these. Man, I don't want to. We have so many like random Mycena that probably need described. Oh, did you see this one? Were you watching when this one came up? This is another sequence for that Gliophorus that I've been wanting to do. Mycena red herring guy. Oh my gosh. There's a not Crepidotus. Oh my god, the corals. Clavulinopsis that I told Josh we need to describe as, or Josh said, it needs to be Dr. Susie because it was like twisted. It was silly. It looked good. Um, anyway, I swear sometimes the biggest bottleneck is just sometimes Mycomap is fun. Sometimes Mycomap is a little slow, but that's okay. It does a good job. It chugs along. We put it through a lot of work. Working on my like radio voice here. I'm trying not to talk a million miles a minute. Okay, this is definitely a Mycena. Mm. Okay, those are not the same mushroom. So that's definitely a fail. That one actually is a low RAC fail. If you guys have questions. No, I got out of my project. That's obnoxious. Okie dokie. I do think that one was a Mycena though. That said you failed. Obviously, if you're doing your own validations, you're probably not going to have a spreadsheet, so you don't have to do the spreadsheet stuff. We just have some spreadsheets. Oh, gosh. Okay. If we actually get a sequence off this bonnet mold, I'm gonna laugh. We might have actually gotten a sequence off this bonnet mold. So I'm gonna open both up to see if either of them is a good sequence. There we go. So interesting. Okay, so we actually got back both the Spinellus sequence, it looks like, and we also might have gotten back the Mycena sequence. Maybe. I'm gonna open the Mycena sequence first because this one looks like it might not be good. I'm nervous about making new temp codes off of stuff with this low of RIC usually, but we do have a new cleaning process. So search for that forward read. Egg at cow, which doesn't seem to exist. So we'll just reverse all of it. Okay, so that's good. Oh, good lord. What is happening here? Okay. Uh, maybe? Nope. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be a good read. This is probably going to be gross. We'll see. Yep, this is gross. Okay, so this is one of those situations where, like, it's just a noisy sequence. I'm not 100%. Maybe all these need reversed. Clearly something's going on here. So what I think is possibly happening here is that there's like a contaminant sequence that's glommed itself onto a another sequence. So what I'll sometimes do in this case is just blast it, just do a quick blast and see what comes up. So like the two different kind of groups of sequences, right? So to do that, we're going to edit, export, move selected rows from their alignment to a new alignment. So we're going to create a new alignment. Doesn't really matter what you call it because this is just a temporary check thing. Because if you copy the consensus, it's going to copy the whole thing, right? You don't want to copy the whole thing. You just want to copy like the group of reads you're trying to suss out. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to copy over these other ones, and we're going to do another blast for those. Okay, so those came up as Mycena. Species Indiana, IN22. Should I be like a real YouTuber and be like, smash that like button, guys? I think I'm funny. Okay. Um, there's like two different Mycenas that are hooked together on this one. I don't super trust it. Um, sometimes, yay, thank you. Um, I don't know, Scott. I don't think this one's savable. I might make a note to mark it for rerun, but just for the Mycena. I don't know if it's worth trying to get the sequence out of the Mycena. But it no, no, there's just like two different haplotypes, and one's for like one Mycena and the other one's for like a different Mycena, and like neither of them's like a good match for either Mycena. Like it's just kind of noisy. I think it's just a bunch of contam, like some bioinformatic contamination. I'm thinking possibly. Like it's definitely not. I'm not making a new. I'm not calling this a putative hybrid off of such a low RIC sequence thingamabobber. It's just not. It's not good practice. So we're just gonna. I don't know if it's worth a rerun. We were mostly just going after the Spinellus. Oh, shut up. I might. I'm trying to figure out how to mark it in our sheet. We don't really have ones. We don't have an option to mark our sheet for rerun of a sauna fail. It's fine. We were just going after the Spinellus. So let's pull that up. Like it's one thing if you could still see, like if it's a low RIC and you can still see like the morphology of the parent mushroom to compare it, that'd be one thing. But like it's so covered in bonnet mold that. Eh. The bonnet mold seems generally pretty indiscriminate about host anyway. So sorry, I'm trying not to move too fast, but it's just getting it all set up. Okay, copy consensus. Paste it over here. Yeah. Yeah, and I think like everyone kind of does it a little different, so it's good to kind of see what everyone does. So that one's clean. You good, babe? Okay, so what we see here in the annotations is we see a match to a contam sequence from a Mycena, Sylvanite Gray, which is here. Okay, so this probably had a separate sequence. It was the actual Sylvanite Gray sequence. But we also see Danny's notes, right? So if I see Danny Miller's notes, usually I'm gonna go to Danny Miller's webpage, right? This is in ASCO, so he probably doesn't have, oh, maybe. He might actually, oh, he actually has a page on these. Look at that. Okay, we have some type area sequences, but we need local sequences. So Steven has Danny's database on his website here. So Danny's got his database, which is here. Steven has convinced Danny to let him put Danny's database on Micromap to compare, and we also kind of have like Danny's notes. And what Danny's gone through a lot of times is like compare it to where it's described from, right? So if we look up the Spinellus Fuchsiger, it's going to show on Index Fungorum here, it's going to kind of show you where it's from and where usually. So, okay, Germany. So it's from Germany. So likely, if we're going to have legit sequences in GenBank, they're going to be ones from like Germany or Europe in general. We have these three. Sorry, we have those couple. Sorry, reordered that. Yeah, okay. So this is where it gets weird, right? So this is the Unite reference sequence for Spinellus fusiger. I think the way Unite reference sequences work is it just kind of bases it off like the consensus in GenBank. Not necessarily like a type sequence. So if there's like a bunch of people calling something the wrong name, I don't always trust the Unite reference sequences. That said, I'm looking at the accession numbers for these. So, and this looks like it's from the Netherlands, which is also Europe. Oh, this is a weird one. And we're going to do one more thing because I'm just really unsure of this because there's not a lot of reference data, and this is where I kind of slow down because there's not a lot of reference data, and I want to make sure I don't introduce noise into the system. So I'm also going to check, I'm going to type in the actual taxa name into GenBank, and I'm going to blast it, and it's going to show me every sequence in GenBank going under that name. So if there's like a wide spread of what people have agreed on, is it? Like, I'm going to be suspicious. But if you look here, there's 4 that are pretty much in agreement, and then there's just like kind of one outlier that isn't. Now, these are all look like they're probably from the same paper. See how the accession numbers here are in line? This one's not. I think in this case, I'm going to give it a temp code, but it probably is Spinellus fusiger. But like, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not an expert on bonnet molds at all, and I just don't know. So this is one of those cases where like I'm pretty sure it's the right thing, but I'm still going to give it a little bit of a temp code just in case it does end up being something else, and we can be like, okay, we acknowledge this is a group of sequences, but we're not like for sure saying it is for sure the species as described by whoever this was in 1824. Like, it's also a species from 1824, so those are always just kind of a pain. But yeah, we're gonna give him a temp code. I did. I checked them already. They're all from the same paper. It's these 4. These 4 are from the same paper, and then this one is that one that's the outlier. So the ones that are from the same paper are, and that's the Unite ref sequence. So, I mean, it's it's probably valid. Oh, I might be over talking on this one. Investigation of, actually, let me check the England one because like that actually might be. DNA barcoding in mucorales versus barcoding fungi. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna trust the Swedish paper. Like if they're actually doing a mucorale study. Okay. Yeah, it's probably legit. I'm just overthinking things. That's what's happening. When in doubt, lump. Fair. But also, when confused, don't create more problems. Because, like, I've definitely seen a couple cases where, like, there should have been some temp codes. I just don't know bonnet molds at all. Fair. That was a fair point. The taxonomists can figure it out. They might not, though. You say that, Scott, but I've seen some things. Okay. I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not. I don't think taxonomy's dead. I like taxonomy. Taxonomy is fun. All my homies like taxonomy. Oh, huh. Almost dead. I'm not having that conversation right now. Like, on the highest level, maybe. But we still need a way to talk about these species with people. Maybe not bonnet mold, but laymen need a way to refer to stuff. And not everyone thinks in barcode data. Not everyone is a bioinformatics nerd. I would venture to guess that very few people, proportional to the amount of population on Earth, there's a vanishingly few amount of people in that group that are actually into this stuff. Ooh, well, they're pretty. Do do do. Maybe. Well, it's definitely not on my Mycena, because that is definitely my KCI. There we go. Okay. So this is the correct sequence. Let's open the fast key for that one. So the program I'm using to the program I'm using to edit these is called Eugene. It is a free. Oh, INO1 is Saccharines. Do we have proof it's Saccharines? Do we need to like just go through and update it? Because I would love to. I love getting temp codes switched over to actual names like when we can. Like if INO1 is Saccharines, we like have a paper, like a good paper showing that, we should do it. Denver observation for Pinot Beach. Link it to me later. Or yeah, find it and I'll look at it. Why does this say type? This is not a. This is not a type. Don't know how to switch it though. So if INO1 is Saccharines, do we know which INO2 is? This is definitely INO2. So, okay. Anyway, while Scott's doing that, so this is Eugene. This is a free sequence editor. Uh, there's a lot of stuff you can do with it. I don't know all the stuff. INO2 is sensu stricto. Has anyone like done a big study, like a recent study on my KCI to figure out like how to separate these clades? Because I feel like if that's happened, we might be able to like decide it. Because it's getting annoying having to put every single mica cap into section my KCI. It'd be nice to actually say these are what they are. Um, Okie dokie. So anyway, Eugene, free sequence editor, right? So you load your sequences. Usually when I see when I load the FASTQ being the assembly file, it'll have one group of reads that's forward and one group of reads that's backwards. So I use this conserved internal motif. This agat kata is conserved in ITS1 in most fungi. Oh, it has another. I mean the California one's probably not. Let me look. Because where's it described from? Caprinelis, my case. Oh God, it's a freeze name. 1786. I don't. Where was this even typified from? I'm not worried about this right now. Let the taxonomist figure it out. To quote Scott. Anyway, so this is my forward group of reads. So select those, edit, replace selected rows with reverse complement, and realign. Cool. And then what I did over here is I just copied over the original nanopore read to C. It basically is a quick way to compare it to what I have to see if there are any ambiguous positions. And this one actually looks like it does have some ambiguous positions. Now, how I got it set up to detect these is basically in settings over here, it's gonna default it to not simple extended, right? So you switched it to simple. I switched it to simple extended, and I put the threshold at 60. So basically, what this means, if it's like 59% of one nucleotide and like 30 41 of another nucleotide, it's going to throw out an ambiguous code. So I can kind of show you. So Control C to copy that group, right? And then we can search for that motif in here. And you can see we basically have more or less a 50-50 split. I mean, it's 57-42, but it's about as close to a 50-50 split as you're going to see. It's really exactly 50-50, but this is pretty darn close, right? So that I would call that like a legitimate ambiguous position. Meanwhile here, this is a situation with those repeating nucleotides that I was talking about earlier. So like nanopore struggles to read these sometimes. So I'm fine with going with what nanopore originally spit out there. And then this one is a little bit weird. So so this is kind of a weird one, right? This is a case where I'm almost tempted to go with Nanopore's original, right? Because these C's could easily represent these C's could either represent an ambiguous position, or they could just be it messing up this repeat again. So actually, let me go look and see where. Okay, I'm pulling out CCA on that spot on other ones. CCM. So that one says CCM. CCM, which this A is just, so it should be CC. So those are ones that have been edited to add the ambiguity. And then CC A, and I just didn't even have the A. I think I'm going to leave the M in there. In this case, yeah, I'm going to leave the M in there. This is one of those cases where like it could be because of just the way it's aligning it. I'm okay putting the M in there. So we're going to copy that consensus now that I have it cleaned up. And we're going to go to edit. To edit sequences on here, you will have to be to have some privileges. So you'll have to talk to Steven if you want the ability to do sequence edits. That said, you need to put a species in there, otherwise it's going to throw an error. You can always just edit the sequence on INAT, but I like to just edit it in here and then be able to reblast it. That said, we do have 100% matches in here, and I know that matches the other ones. This is definitely INO2. I'm not going to wait for this new blast to run before I validate it. I'm just going to blast a new one so we have it, and then import that to INAT. It'll import the newest blast attached to the sequence. And then we're going to go, we're going to say Carpinellus, Mycasius, INO2. And put a couple matches in there just to be thorough. And then we're going to copy my OMDL number. Also, hi, Brian. I didn't say hi. Hopefully, as I do more of these streams, I will become less of an awkward panda on on video, because yeah, definitely not my strong suit. I don't know how to talk to myself out loud without sounding crazy. Alright, up, refresh external data. We're good here, we're good here. While that's up, while that's doing its thing, we're just gonna fill all this out. Oh, thank you. I sound a little crazy. Just by virtue of like, it's 8:49 on a Saturday and I'm like, I want to look at DNA sequences. This is how I'm spending my weekend. Come on, guys, let's validate some mushrooms. All right. Okie dokie. Next up is, yes. I also probably need a beer. I'm going to finish this Coke first because, you know, caffeine at 9 p.m. is also the thing to do. Ooh, it's a Clitosabe. One of the more awkwardly named genuses of fungi. This looks interesting. That's fair. You're watching me do validation on a Saturday night. There's worse things. Why is it called that? Let's look up Latin to English translation. Latin, Clitosabe. Doesn't work. What is Clito? No, translate. Clit? This is not, I don't know. I do know Michael Quo's mnemonic for remembering how to pronounce it on. It's kind of funny. Ooh, Nebularis. Okay, wait, or Robusta? Oh, gosh. So this is one of those silly situations where the two species need combined. Oh, Greek. Oh, that's a good idea. Greek to English translation. Cool. Greek to English. It's just not. It's not working. It's being annoying today. So, Clitosobe robusta and Clitosobe nebularis are two names that I think a lot of mycologists like recognize as belonging to the same species, but for whatever reason, they're like not really recognized as the same thing, right? Like, so Nebularis is a European species, and so Nebularis is a free species, right? From Europe, whereas Robusta is a peck species from New York. They need to be lumped, but since we're in America, we're going with the Robusta name, but you can see like we're getting Clitosobe nebularis from Denmark matches 100% to Clitosobe robusta from Wisconsin. Like and the macromorphology matches, I think the micro matches, like they're the same species. I just don't know why they haven't been combined yet. But we'll call it robusta because it's robusta in America. One of the cases where I'm a lumper. Just put them together. They're the same species. Honestly, Kyle, I could have told you that was robusta before I even looked at the sequence. It's not an uncommon species. So we're just gonna double check it to make sure it is good. But it's gonna be good because it's robusta. Realistically, I this is 100% match to other stuff. I really don't even need to check this for ambiguities, but I am weird and it doesn't take me very long. So I'm just gonna do it anyway. Because I'm a weirdo that likes doing that. Hi, Penny! I didn't see your beers. Okay, yeah, see, it's good. It's Clitospia robusta. Import. Get out of those. Good. Validated. So many, lots of matches. Like, I don't even need, this is one of those cases where I'm not even gonna, like, link any other matches because there's a million matches. Like, it is Clitospia robusta. It is common. Like, usually I'll leave notes, but there's some species that just pop up so much that I just don't bother because, like Trimides versicolor. I'm not spending a lot of time on most Trimides versicolor sequences because they're almost always just Trimides versicolor. There's, like, very little sequence variation in the entire species. No matter where you are in the world, they're just all Trimides versicolor. Like a turkey tail is a turkey tail no matter where you go. They are a very successful species. And yeah, they're just everywhere. It's Clitosobe is not in Rob's word book. Well, maybe we need to get Rob to add Clitosobe to his word book because now, like, the people want to know. The people want to know. What is the etymology? Okay, like Wikipedia save us. Apparently it means sloping head. So, the great source that is Wikipedia says it means sloping head. Uh, uh-huh. Whew. Hot mushroom facts. I think, did I do everything I need to do on this one? I got distracted. Hey, there you go. Yeah, sloping. Oh, newer copy. Oh, it's wait, there's a Rob has a physical mycology word book? I didn't know that. I guess I should have known that. Ready. Yes. No. No, definitely not notable. Okay, yeah, that's good. I think I've got everything. Okay, now we're getting into some stuff that actually didn't fail, which is great. This is interesting. Nope. I don't have a super good estimate for that because we fairly recently altered some of our sampling protocols, so we're getting through sampling a lot faster. But as soon as we figured out how to like fix our sampling bottleneck, we started having technical issues with like nanopore sending us bad flow cells. So that has slowed us down a little bit. Generally I would expect, maybe like a few months, but it might be a little longer. Like we're all volunteers, so we're kind of doing this when we can. Um, and we currently have 3 runs that are in the process of being validated. So once we get through this run, um, we've got 2 runs after this to do. It just depends how much time we have. Winter, like if we're doing it in the winter, things go a little quicker because none of us are as busy, but like a lot of us live in the Midwest. So during the summer, it's our busy time. And like I've just had a 3-month period where I've been busy every single weekend and I just haven't had a lot of time to do validation, unfortunately. A couple months to slightly longer is probably a good estimate, but it just depends like where we are in the specimen queue and stuff. Um, which Brian, I have some samples I'm gonna have to send you probably Monday. Just FYI. Also, this is a foliotina, not an ACB. So, we'll go look at these. I'm gonna open this up. These are a really cool foliotina, honestly. What a weird little mushroom. Bye. Nice. So yeah, that's 30 completed racks is several more runs. Like that's, oh gosh, that's probably 4 more runs. And I handed Kyle like 4 more I had to Kyle 4 racks at OMF, which is impressive for me. Yeah, so yeah, we just have a lot of runs to get through, but we're getting through them. Okay, so no weird ambiguities. 1, 2. So copy over the name. I like saying base pair rather than percentage a lot, and this is just me, but like the percentage can change based on how long the ITS is, right? Like some things will have really short ITS sequences, and some things might have like 1,000 base pair ITS sequences or higher, like if you're getting into chanterelles. So that percentage is going to alter a little bit based on that length. So I just like marking the base pairs because I feel like it's a little more consistent, but that's just me. Thank you. If I could get paid to do this more, I would, well, if OMDL could pay me to do this more, I would probably be doing it a lot more, but unfortunately I have to have a day job. So it is what it is. Turns out Ohio doesn't really have a lot of grants for fungal biodiversity barcoding. Turns out that like mass biodiversity barcoding is not a thing that most government agency with money care about. It's just, so it yeah. That's okay. I kind of like the outlaw science nature of it a little bit. Like it is truly great how the various sequencing labs are managing to engage with community science in a way that's actually like doing some good, right? Because these biodiversity, just like sequences we're doing, realistically are probably going to catch some things that like you wouldn't get just going to a site and collecting a few fungi, right? It's no one has enough time in the world to find every species out there. So this is definitely going to catch things that a more focused paper might miss, which I think is just great. My cat sneezed. Okay. This is interesting. Kind of like it's Mycomap doesn't yet have a ton of like functionality outside of the projects, right? Like it's still kind of a website in progress. So there are kind of ways to do it. Um, but it's the answer is kind of, but like honestly, it's probably just easier to wait because the problem is all of our projects are locked to us because we don't like want someone going in there and like deleting records and stuff out of projects and what have you. Um, it's yeah, sorry. I don't have a good answer for that. I apologize. It's honestly probably a better question for like Steven because he knows some of like the back end stuff of Micromap a little better than I do. Like I know where stuff is, just hmm, this is interesting. Okay, it's probably this higher RAC file and not the lower RAC file, though I could maybe see that being a rotoclibia. Alright, let's pop these open and see what they look like in comparison. Oh, that's a good question. Oh boy. Like total sequences with OMDL or like total? Because 30, so if Brian just is sending us 30 completed racks, that's so 96. So that's all that's 2800. So actually 34 times. So there's about 3,200 in queue that haven't been sequenced. Oh, there's an easy way to tell you this. So we're up to OMD 85. So the OMDL number is basically just how many we've sequenced, right? So up to run 16 is OMDL 9198. So and then if we have like 3,000 more, that's probably probably up to like over 10,000. Have we done that many? Yeah. Looks like we might actually have finally passed 10,000 for OMDL, which is fantastic. Obviously, not all successful sequences. Um, and then some of those I think some of those in the queue are repeats, so some of those are going to be reruns. As far as actual observation sequence goes, I'd probably have to double check statistics, but we're definitely getting up there in the amount we've done. Like holy moly. Brian is a beast. Brian is an absolute beast when it comes to pulling these samples though, because like he's so fast. I am jealous of how fast he is at this. I'm getting distracted now. Okay, so it is definitely the clatostomy that rotoclibia has their own gill attachment. Okay. Sorry guys, I don't have great answers for some of these. I'm just the validator peon. I don't look at the statistics as much. Like Mandy probably knows. Or Alan. Or honestly, Kyle could probably tell you, but I've basically been walking around in a fog for the last 3 months because I've been so busy, so. Wow, what is happening here? Maybe selling myself a little short. Agakata. Okay, that one's Agakata. Okay. Okay, I just missed a few. This is a weird one. There's like 2 haplotypes that aren't aligning very well. I don't. The heck? Okay, so sometimes what I'll do for these, I don't necessarily want to do this because this is not a super unique species, but we're just gonna split those off and see what's going on. Copy. Let's blast and see what's the deal. What the deal is. Oh. I do know if you guys are interested in getting into like doing some validation stuff, Nama is working with the. Oh. Okay. So first, Nama is going to be doing some volunteer validation work soon. So keep an eye on that. I know Fundus and OMDL have kind of been working together with and Makoto and Nama to work on some like training videos and stuff. So that should be coming down the pipeline soonish. What is going on with these ones I split off? So there's some bioinformatic contamination here. Like there's some rotoclibia sequences that got attached to my clatosomy sequences. So when I split that off, it blasted rotoclibia, which was the noise sequence I was getting. So we're just gonna leave those off then, and then align it and see what comes up. Yeah, see, that's nice clean. This is probably going to be one ambiguous position. Like if I tried to copy that over with those other ones in here, it would have been just gross. It would have been a mess. But yeah, because I split those off, it's a lot cleaner of a read. So we're actually going to just split this to G, another G, instead of that T. I'm pretty sure that T was coming from the contaminant, the bioinformatics contaminant sequence here. So, yeah, look right here. If I align this, if I go open this and I copy this over, and I just copy this into Eugene as well, you're gonna see that that is gonna match now because I just fixed. Yep. Okay. So that fixed it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna upload the edited sequence, but I'm gonna reblast it, but I'm not gonna wait for the blast to finish because it's not significantly different enough, and I kinda. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Brian. Thank you. Yeah, so 8,000, and then, if you just sent 30 racks, we've got a heck of a lot. I mean, we've got almost 3,000 more in queue. And that's not counting, like, what, some other sequences we have. Of course, including reruns and stuff, but. Ah! Oh my gosh, could we. Is my control button not working? Copy consensus. Paste. Good lord. There we go. So he's IN2. Kind of a gross looking one, but it's IN2. Yeah. One base pair off here. And then we need to do a new blast real quick. Get rid of these. Get rid of that. We trashed the other sequence, so now I only have one, so import that to iNet, and then we're just going to start inputting the information we need to input. It feels weirdly silent because normally I have like podcasts playing in the back, or I'm blasting metal. Joke's on me, I'm the podcast today. Yuck, yuck, yuck. I might go for a few more and then wrap it up. I don't want to be doing this all night, but I do want to do this more going forward because I know it's going to be useful to people, and we can definitely probably pull some good info out of these, hopefully, fingers crossed. Would help if I remember to add it to the projects. I need to do that. Oh, look, another project I need to join. I have so many. I'm in so many mushroom projects. Ooh, I need to creep on this project journal actually. Let's look. What are the rules? Not the journal. Let's see. New York. Oh, interesting. No Ohio counties. There's a couple of Ohio counties that count as Appalachia. I might need to go. Who's in charge? Oh, Adam. Might need to bug him to add some of the Appalachian Ohio counties to that. I ain't worried about it right now. Oh wait, it's already in there because this is in Ohio. Okie dokie. Anyway, on to the next one. After we get this ready for GenBank. So this basically preps it for GenBank. So like if you're doing your own validations, once you've done everything in a project, you can use that to export everything. Like export a sheet that will make it easy to do GenBank uploads. Likely, probably not going to have to mess with it. This is going to be another one of those Mycenas. The Pura group. Almost guarantee it. You can just look at it and see. Section Calodontes. Waiting for it to load is the best part. Yep, it's that IN7 again. Okie dokie. I didn't used to say okie dokie this much, and then I watched the Fallout show, and I can't seem to break it out of my brain. Like, I just say okie dokie. I really, I need to stop. I don't need to say it that much. Um, but yeah, I think my brain is broken because I can just hyperfixate on this for hours and like just do it. Just do it for hours. I makes my brain happy. All right, have fun, Brian. I am probably gonna close out, wrap this up soon, but I want to do a couple more at least. Enjoy hyperfixating on validation, Brian. I'm a little sad I haven't actually come across like a really weird one yet. Like these have all been things that have temp codes already, which is totally fine. You know, we want to see range extensions too. But it is nice. I would like to hopefully get just a nice weird one in here before I close the stream down, just so I can like show some decent like sequence editing. Because I really haven't gotten any yet that I've had to do much real sequence editing on. Like I haven't gotten anything with like two very different haplotypes, which does happen sometimes. Or anything that's like really novel that needs checked on its own. Like that absolutely needs double checked. Yeah, we'll get to the top here and then see how I'm feeling after that. Nope, that's not right. So refreshing external data here is going to refresh the info from INAT. So it's going to pull the provisional species name in on here. So it should pull in this provisional species name onto Micromap if it's cooperating, which is taking a second right now. Yeah, there we go. So it's just not cooperating right now. Okay. Now it's verified. Now we can go to the next one. Well, it's probably going to be a good sequence. So it used to be that we would be looking for sequences with like 100 reads in consensus, but we definitely changed up some of our bioinformatics backend processing, so we're not getting quite as much junk in the reads. This is probably that one. Which is nice, because when we don't have junk in the reads, it means they align a lot quicker. Okay. Noisy sequence. Let's figure it out. I'm pretty confident this is the species it says it is. I don't know what's going on with that center. Okay, so we have like 2 different haplotypes happening here, it looks like. So this might be legitimately noisy, but I'm probably going to check these to make sure it's not some weirdo bioinformatics contamination. Anyway, though, let's just go through and check all these spikes in here to see what is happening. Okay, so yeah. Sorry, I'm just making sure these are all aligned properly. This one might be reversed. Yeah, that one was reversed. This one might... No, wait, that one was not reversed. That was fine before. There we go. That's just a weird read. Okay. So we got 2 haplotypes going on. I'm just going to check these again just because I'm a little bit suspicious. Export. It's like the one kind of thing I don't super like about these lower RICs is if there is a noise, it is a little harder to see what's noise and what's real. Okay. So that group is noise because this is probably some bioinformatic contamination from the Mycena species IN7, which was in the well right next to it. So I'm actually just going to check this against the... We're going to delete this. Just hit delete. I'm overthinking it. So we're just going to copy this consensus without the weirder one that I just kicked off. Okay. Yep. So that's good. In some cases, if you have 2 like wildly different haplotypes, it could be like a hybrid, but these are not... I don't think these are super closely related species. Occam's razor, a little bit of contam is definitely more likely in this case for me. And then like if you look here, the differences are kind of far close to the beginning in ITS1 and close to the end in ITS2, and those are sometimes not real differences, so I'm not super concerned about these. I'm going to call it this. Let me rephrase that. They're real they're probably real differences, but like there's occasionally more variability when you get to the end, the other regions. Why is it Mycopan? It's not Mycopan. Go. Icena Sylvana, great. INO2. 2 base pair off. And oh. Alright, so far tonight I keep finding ones that have bioinformatic contamination, but none that actually need real sequence editing. So that's weird, but sure. Alright, so put the temp code in the temp code field so it imports properly. Do that. We're going to import to INAT. Gonna put it these hotkeys for copy and paste like all the time. So you're just going to want to familiarize yourself with Control V and Control C. Control C is copy. Control V is paste. They're going to be your favorite. They're just going to be your favorite buttons. Saves a lot of time in clicking. I'll save some time in clicking at least. Sequence validator. Me. OMDL number. That. Add it to the projects. And there we go. It's like the gallery of Jess's weird expressions. Okay. This is gonna be IN7 again. Just watch. Because this also looks like it's in Caledontes. Maybe. Could you load? Yep, it's IN7. I'll check the sequence, but I'm probably not going to need to edit it. Man, I was hoping I would get some interesting ones. That's okay. I mean, these are interesting. They're just not, like, crazy novel or anything. Well, but that's okay. Not everything is going to be crazy novel, and it's valuable to have the range extensions. That way, if someone does go to describe these, we can get an actual decent picture of where we're going to find them, right? Oh, there are a couple ambiguous positions. Look at that. Do we trust them? I might trust these. So CT is kind of going to be your most common, like Y is one of your most common ambiguities that you're going to see. So if I see a bunch of Ys, I'm usually a little less suspicious of there being like a separate haplotype. Like I'm usually gonna be most suspicious if there's like big chunks that are just obviously not aligning properly, right? But these are pretty much aligning except like there's a one nucleotide column where there's clearly an ambiguity, right? So there's a little bit of haplotypic variation in the parents here, but I don't think I'm not going to worry too much about going through and manually separating the haplotypes and double checking them, because in this case, it looks like it's just a little bit of gene variation in the parents. It does happen sometimes. Some groups of fungus are definitely more prone to it than others. And having more isn't necessarily a bad thing because you know what? It's going to show us the phenotypic variation in the fruit bodies of the fungus, which is like also like, I think it's a super valuable thing, right? That's not something a lot of, old taxonomists had when they were describing these things. They might describe something off of a single fruit body. They wouldn't know what they look like if they're old or young, or what the natural just like visual variation on a fungus is. And so you ended up like with cases where Smith described the same uh Satharella 20 times in a single paper, I think is the story. Um, which isn't bad. I mean, like, he was doing his best with the info he had. We just have better analysis info now. There we go. Add that to professional. So what happens is I start talking and then I lose what I'm doing. I lose my place. All right. Up, round up. It's all good. Ooh, Lactarius. Ooh. Interesting, Lactarius. I was getting a little worried this plate was going to start having a lot of fails, but it's actually been chugging along pretty well here. The stuff that failed is stuff that sometimes struggles anyway. Which is okay. We'll rerun them. What is this Lactarius? Ooh. Okay. All right. So we have a species. Looks like we have a species name here. I don't see any temp codes. We have a Unite ref sequence. There is a lot of sequences named Venetia rufescens. So we're gonna check. Where is Lactarius Venetia rufescens described from? Okay, this is a Michigan. This is a Michigan species. We have a lot of good matches, pretty high matches from where you would expect to see a Michigan species also popping up, right? Ohio, Nova Scotia, Wisconsin, Tennessee, Connecticut. Like, this is all very reasonable places to see the same species pop up. We don't have any Michigan sequences of this one, but that's okay because we share a lot of the same species between Ohio and Michigan. I'm gonna pop these open to see the comments on these, but likely it's just gonna be that's what it is. Yeah. Seems like this is a species with a pretty good concept. I'm not gonna question it. It is a species. So yay. It's something in Russulaceae that actually has a name, which is unusual. Alright. Like I said, this is likely going to be no difference, really. Yep, well... we have an S. Okay. So in a situation like this, to my eyes, this looks like a thing where it's just not aligning very properly, right? Like this S does not look real. Everything is just shifted slightly. I'm not going to add the ambiguity in this case. It's already got 100% matches. This looks like it's a alignment problem and not an actual biologically real ambiguity. So I'm not going to change that. Oh, INAT actually has the correct species as the suggested species for this one too, so that's encouraging. So put that in there. It's always encouraging when you can get like an actual just solid species name and there's not a lot of confusion. We love to see it. So new distribution, obviously not. This is a common species. Okie dokie. OMDL number. It's a long name and I'm not going to try to spell it. Notable? No. Update that, and while that's updating, let's load the next one. Please be a weirdo. Oh, it's more Rhenia. Probably not a weirdo. I'm gonna do a couple more. Let's go till 10. At 10, I'll probably call it quits for the night, because I would like to go watch some stupid television. It's kind of hard to watch stupid television while invalidating. Yeah. Okie dokie. I see what you did there. It's just, okie dokie is fun to say. I don't know why it is, but it is. It's just like very verbally pleasing. It's like an ASMR phrase. Oh. Is this sensu stricto? Well, yeah, I'm fine calling it this. You know, I should probably go in and check this, but there's so many 100% matches, it's not super necessary in this case. Oh, we got a new viewer. Hi. When there's only like 4 people, it's easy to see. Did I import that already? I may have. Should probably put some music on in the background on one of these streams to make it less weirdly quiet. But then I'd be afraid of like getting the stream taken down by YouTube. So maybe listen to some like. Ooh, I got some vaporwave I could probably listen to actually. Y'all might get some vaporwave in the background next time. Ooh, ooh. This is one you don't see very often. Chicken. Some guar. But I'd probably get a copyright strike for guar. Alright. So this is another case where it's matching fairly closely to Danny's notes. So I'm going to open this one and check it. But I want to see what Danny says about it. Because the more I can just let other people do the work, it's nice, right? You don't want to have to repeat work that people have already done. So if Danny's already kind of looked and figured out what's going on, I am very happy to take advantage of his notes. Exactly. What is happening? There's like... Okay. Hmm. Okay, now it's aligning well. That was weird for a moment. I'm not sure. Hi! Oh, just vibing, doing some sequence validation. This is some noise. What up, Andrew? Ready to learn some hot fungi facts? I might be going slightly crazy. I've already said this stream. Good. You should. Whoa. What is happening here? Holy shnikes. Okay, I'm gonna pull these out and see what's going on here. Because I suspect this is just some random noise that got attached. It does happen. I mean, have you done any validation yet, Andrew? Yep, that's some rhodoclibia that just got attached for no reason. So we're just gonna leave those out because we don't want those there. This is definitely not rhodoclibia. Okay, well, hopefully you can osmose some from here. If you want to, I can go over to some stuff a little more like basic. I'm just kind of doing whatever at the moment. This is still noisy as hell with this position. What the frick? What? There we go. Let's try this again, actually. See if that alignment's better now if I took out that noise. So, probably, but so that's just some bioinformatic contamination, right? I'm looking at a Sclerotiomyces right now. So there was just a couple like reeds that didn't belong. So I just took them out. It happens a little sometimes. Oh, this is a mess. So this is a situation where we have repeating T's on one side and repeating T's on another side. But in this case, I'm not like sure if this is like a case where like this section of genes, like one parent might have just like this small section like reversed, right? Or it could be a nanopore artifact, but I'm guessing there's a reversal just because maybe just because of the way it is. Okay, we don't need these two. These two are noise, they can go away. So, we have a W. I might sorry, I'm trying to think through this. This is a kind of a weird one. Actually, let's pick a close one and we're just gonna copy that one and see how that aligns and see what's going on. Yeah, so I think what's happening is like right in here, there might be like a reversal and it's causing some weird haplotypic variation. So I'm actually going to leave those ambiguities in there. It's a little weird. This is weird. How do I resolve that? Don't want to put an H if I can avoid it. Come on. Sorry, I just like hit a wall because I have some weird things happening. So W-A-Y-T-Y. W-A-Y-T-Y. Okay, yeah, let's just do Actually, let's do WWYTY. Let's do WWYTY. Okay, I think that's I think that's about the best we're gonna get out of that one. That one's a bit of a weird one. Good night. Oh, wait, that's not what I want to edit. This is the one I want to edit. Gandalfiana so is Philosophy polytrichoides? Uh, I mean, superficially, it does kind of look like Gandalfiana. I'm not super familiar with. I'm not the Philosophy person on the team. Well, you could try asking Alan if what he thinks. Do you think it was Contam, or do you just think it was true? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we do get weird results sometimes. I mean, sometimes mushrooms have more phenotypic variation than you'd expect. Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd have to look at it more. Um, okay, I wanted to read what Danny was saying about this. EU species. Like, do you think it shouldn't have come back as Caneromyces, or? So I've done the whole stream. I haven't done. I've been kind of stream of consciousing this, so I haven't really done like a super detailed Eugene intro on this particular stream. I can probably do one real quick. Let me get this one figured out real quick because it's a little weird. Actually, I'm gonna wait for this blast to finish on this one, so we're gonna mark this comeback. So Andrew, Scott thought it was weird. I mean, it could have been. I mean, bioinformatics contamination happens sometimes. So like if there was a Caneromyces somewhere else on the plate, like it could have been either physical contam of like whoever pulled it, or it could have been bioinformatics contam, or like specimen mix-ups to happen. Like like that's I mean that's the whole reason we're doing validation, right? Is so we can um catch stuff like that, but without looking at it like directly, I wouldn't be sure. So did Scott I mean, you can do like you can link me if you want me to look at it more. Um, okay, Eugene stuff. Here, let me get to another one, and then I will kind of talk through some Eugene stuff real quick before I get out of here. Sure, link it. We'll look at it. Do you know what? Yeah, just link it. I'll look at it. Galerina batapes. I'm just not super familiar with. That one was kind of a weird one. So like I said, I think there was a reversal in one of the parents, and like those don't happen very often. Um, but it looked like at that spot, like one of the haplotypes was just rotated, which is causing some weirdness. for the Laurasiomyces. Trichoderma. Okay. I mean, I can talk about it a little bit. Okay, so Eugene. I will open up the Trichoderma one, assuming it is good, and we'll just go through it with a new one. Oh. Penicillium, not Trichoderma. Okay, Penicillium is weird. Like, I don't think ITS is great for all Penicilliums, but huh. Is type material of Penicillium biolowiensis. So this definitely looks like it might be the correct one. Like some groups don't seem like they work as well, but this one might actually be legit. Yeah, perfect match to the type. Okay, yeah, this is what it's going to be. All right, so the file, so Garrett, the file you're going to want once you have Eugene like installed and stuff. So this assembly file is the file you're going to want to download and open up in Eugene, right? Like this is the FASTQ. We're doing Nanopore, not Sanger, so it's a assembly file. It's not a chromatogram. And so generally my first step after I've opened it into like the project that you see here is I'm just gonna hit the save alignment as button just to export it, because you can only use muscle if you haven't saved the alignment. I just like to use MAFT because it's quick, but you can try the other alignment ones if you like them. And then after I've aligned it, I'm going to search for this conserved internal motif in ITS1 that'll tell me which is the forward read and which is the reverse read. So agat kata is kind of the sequence of nucleotides that you want to remember. So this top chunk is my forward read, and this bottom chunk is my reverse read. So I just want to reverse complement these. So edit, replace selected rows with reverse complement, and then align it again. And then while this is aligning, what I'll do usually, just as a quick way to check it, because it's annoying to have to go through here and see if there's any like ambiguities, I will just copy that over and then export those sequences to alignment, and then copy consensus, and then copy those over. So I have the original sequence that Nanopore spit out, and then I also have the one that Eugene kind of spit out on alignment. This one, there's no like values that are out of agreement, so I'm not going to worry too much about adding ambiguous nucleotides here, right? But if there were any positions where like it was up for debate, it would give me like my ambiguities, and there'd be a little valley there. I have it set under settings. I have the consensus type to symbol extended, and I have the threshold set at 60. So it's kind of where I found it tends to show me most of the ambiguous nucleotides without it being too crazy noisy. Occasionally it might miss a spot that needs one if like one hits exactly at 60 and then there's one exactly at 40, but that rarely happens. And usually if that happens, there's also other ambiguous spots that'll be obvious. Does it make sense so far? Yes? No? Tell me if it doesn't. Yeah, cool. But that's fine. I don't need to do any sequence editing on that one. So I'm just gonna actually import that one to INAT. So it is matching the type of Penicillium. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that one. Penicillium by this one. And so when it matches a type, and I know you were kind of asking about this at the in North Carolina, Andrew, but so when it matches a type, I'll just say matches type specimen, the number, right? I know this is a type. So I do want to point this out. Yeah, watch it again. I can explain it slower too if you need me to. I'll explain it a little slower on the next one because I'll probably get one that hopefully I can get one that actually needs some sequence editing. I'll go through things a little slower on the next one. But I do want to point this out. So sometimes Micromac will pick up stuff and say it's a type that isn't a type. Like it just looks at the accession here and looks for the word type, and occasionally you'll see something say like molecular, like it sometimes it says type and it's not actually a type. Yeah, you definitely go back and watch it like on PC for sure. Like I'm not going to take the stream down. Um right. Sorry. Um but this actually is type material. So usually if it's got an NR prefix, it's those are reserved for types on GenBank, so I know it's a type. But if it doesn't have an NR prefix, I will go into the accession and double check and make sure it is actually a type, because occasionally some stuff will be marked as a type that isn't, and that's annoying and a pain when it does. It's just like a weird thing that Micromap does sometimes. So, but yeah, it matches this type specimen. That's the important part. So I'm just gonna put that it matches a type specimen. What I'm also gonna do, and Hart with Fundus did this, so match to DNA reference. So whenever there is a type specimen that it matches, I'm gonna go to NCBI, and I'm just gonna find their page for that type specimen, like the accession on the page, and then copy that over in here so it links directly to the type specimen that's been uploaded to GenBank. You don't have to do this. I like to do it. We do it for Fundus, and I just do it on anything I'm validating. I think the more I like having a the more info the better. But I'm also a very fast typer, so that helps. Um, that's not what I want. Hopefully, the next one. So I'm also going to add that to provisional species name. It's not a provisional species, but Micromap won't populate it correctly because it's currently got a disagreement because John called it a trichoderma. So now that that's in the provisional name, when I hit refresh, this is going to refresh to the right name. And then while that's refreshing, we're going to go fill it out. Oh, I've measured myself on monkey type. Like, I type about, I've maxed out at about 140 words per minute. Like, if I'm actually, like, and that's, like, reading what's on reading and typing what's on monkey type. Like, I don't know, like, stream of conscious how fast I type. It's pretty darn fast. So, this is actually a new record. Like, I'm an insanely fast typer, and I don't actually practice typing. I just have a lot of words in my head, and they want to come out. They really just want to come out of my head. Yeah. Ah, no! No, I might be done. Well, if Micromap crashed, we might have to take a break. No. Your left hand types correctly, my right hand syntax. So the story, I think part of the reason I'm such a fast typer is when I was in like elementary school, right? Like we had typing classes when I was like a little baby Jess. And in my typing class that I took, we got to play typing games, and I love typing games because I like to hyperfixate on doing stuff like that. So I love the typing games. But the fastest typer in class that year got to ride in a a Viper, like a really nice sports car. And as a 10-year-old or however young I was, that was really exciting. So I was determined to learn to be the best typer. And I won my ride in a Viper. That's the story of why I type so fast. It's because 10-year-old me decided to just go ham. Go ham and win a car ride. And occasionally if I'm really bored, I'll just like pop on monkey type and like be like, how fast am I? They didn't do typing class until junior year of high school for you? Gosh, that seems really late. Or maybe my school was just like really ahead of the curve. Like honestly, I probably I mean, I'm 37, right? Like I was born in 87. And our house probably had a computer before a lot of people had a personal computer. Um because my dad is an engineer and he was Oh, okay, that's fair. Yeah, I think I hit exactly the right time because like we had a full typing class. I also kind of went to our school. I went to a well-funded school, which helps. Um, my high school my high school is in rich white suburbia, so take that for what you will. Okay, Micromap might be dead, but here, let brief monkey type interlude while we wait for Micromap to stop dying. All right, let's see if I can do this without like making a bunch of mistakes. I type fast. Oh no! Oh no! Oh gosh. Yeah, oh good, it's back. Yeah, I definitely did get lucky. I seem to have I seem to have gotten lucky a little bit. Um but I've noticed apparently there is a phenomenon where younger generations aren't necessarily as good as computers as like millennials. Um like I've built every computer I've owned since I went to college. Like my dad got me a computer he built when I went off to college, and then I've just been replacing parts on that sucker since then. Like my computer is a ship of Theseus, right? Basically every piece of it's been replaced, but it was never like an entirely new computer. So I'm really decent on working on computers, but you don't have to tinker with electronics as much as you used to unless you're into building computers. So I've definitely got lucky in that case. Hi, Anisha. Dang it! I said I was gonna end at 10, and now people are getting here. I'm gonna do a couple more. Yeah, like my typing speed is unusual. Like I said, I have a lot of words. I have a lot of words I want to get out of my head and into the ether. So, yeah, I just type really fast. You gotta build yourself a good computer. It's so much cheaper to build a computer, especially if you don't mind. If you buy like the trick is to buy like one generation back on hardware, so you don't buy the cutting edge stuff, but you like wait for a sale and you buy the stuff that's like slightly older. It'll be like just as good, but way cheaper. You can legit build like a solid gaming PC for maybe a grand, 1,500. Like it's not super bad. Like my husband just built himself a new computer and it was not that expensive, all things considered. All right, we got little Entaloma. This, interesting. It is a long rambling stream. I might remember to add some timestamps for useful things, but like let's be real, I'm not gonna remember to add timestamps because this has been a very stream of conscious stream. Eventually I will get better at this YouTube thing. Today is not the day I get good at YouTube. Oh man, yeah. If you're not a quick typer, it would suck to have to write a book. Yeah. Alright, this can go away. I don't need him anymore. Okay. Oh! That's a long name. What is happening? Can this go away? Why is it? There we go. Yeah, I might have to do that. Possibly. It's weird. Sometimes I'll get a plate and I'll like almost everything will end up having to be edited, and then sometimes I'll get something and like it's like this plate and everything's just been kind of easy and chill. I might do that. What is this Entaloma? Some described from Spain. Oh, there's a holotype. Is there a sequenced holotype? Where's the holotype? That's not the holotype. Bueller? Ah! Okay. Ha! Here we have we have a situation where the holotype isn't marked on Mycomap for whatever reason. But yeah, it's because they have it as holotypus instead of holotype. But holotype LJVG 1071129. Yep, so that's the holotype. I can edit this because Steven has given me permission, so we're gonna just make him the type. So this should show it correctly. I'm gonna check it, but it probably won't need a sequence edit. I might do that. I might just do some quick, like, just go through some quick validations and then, like, just flag everything that needs edited and do them all on stream. That is actually a pretty good idea. Maybe I'll do that. I might do that. Not tonight, obviously. Maybe next weekend. I need to figure out my schedule. Like, I really just have very little spare time right now because it's summer and I am very busy. Yeah, he's good. Cool. We got another type spec. We love to see a type specimen match. Like, that is just lovely. Because there are so many species that do not have properly sequenced type specimens. Alright. Yep, see, now it's marked as the type properly. It's also the reference sequence. Like, Unite has it right for once. Okay, so... Entaloma... That one? Samophilohebes. I could just record it and post it, actually. That's a thought. kind of like doing streams because it means it can be a little more interactive, but yeah, Bob's your uncle. I don't know. Like I said, we're very new at this whole YouTube thing. I'm not great at being a talking head, so I need to figure things out. Okay, so match. Well, especially for something like this, right? Like if I'm showing you a very specific thing, it's one thing. But for a more smash that like button. God. I feel very silly saying that. Oh, thanks, Anisha. All right, so again, I'm gonna go and put it in match DNA reference because there is a type specimen for it. And then sequence validator is me. Part of the reason I'm also busy is like I have 3 jobs right now, one of which is a seasonal job that wraps up next week, one of which is a grant funded job that I probably isn't going to be active over winter because the grant's going to run out. So like I'm trying to focus on the limited time jobs because I'm just not going to have as much work in the winter. So I'll have a lot more time in the winter to work on OMDL stuff basically. And yeah, I have an off season because there's not that many fungi to find in the winter in Ohio. Like we have a few. Like you can find bluets and you can find enoki and you can find lots and lots of crusts. Uh Crusts are not my passion though at all. I kind of hate them. I don't hate them, but I collect them because they're there, not because they bring me joy. So oh, we love to see a type specimen. We love to see it. Is this a new distribution? No. Oh, this kind of has a northern. There's not a lot of. This is interesting. I wonder if we had more Canada sequences of this, is if we would have more of a. I bet this one's going to be a little more circumboreal because usually when something shows up in Washington and the Midwest, it's also going to show up in Canada. Yeah, I want to know what everything is too, but also like crusts. Like I see so many trichaptum and they just stick around forever. I might come visit you in California. Scott's also been trying to get us to take a trip down to Florida in the winter, which might happen because like as a Midwesterner, we like to drive everywhere, and I will 100% do a 15-hour drive to Florida just because I can. It's just what Midwesterners do. If oh, nice. Yeah, there's a fair amount of. It looks like there's probably a fair amount of sequences of these. Like I'm willing to bet most of these are sequenced because like the species probably isn't in the computer vision yet, and if it's not in the computer vision yet, yeah, it's not in the computer vision yet. So the only people that are going to call anything this are going to be either sequences or from sequences or like people that are actually give a shit about doing micro. So which I'm surprised. How many observations of this species are there? I mean, 54. It's almost got enough to end up in computer vision. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, thankfully Ohio, it's really easy to get permits in Ohio. Most of the places are just like, "Oh, you actually want to do some diversity surveys for free? Absolutely. Let's give you a permit." It's not over collected like California is. Like these places are like, oh, you want to tell us what's in our parks? Please, we have no budget. Have this permit. Like there's an old growth we emailed, and he's like, and our permit consists of an email of him going, yeah, sure. It's not even a permit. OMDL, please load. Ooh, who are you? Hmm? Oh, Micromap's doing the thing again. Oh, okay. I want to just do these like last two sequences and then call it quits for the night, because I think everyone is pretty much checked out at this point. But Micromap is not cooperating. All right. Well, I might just have to call it quits because it looks like Micromap's struggling. The server is being a little slow right now. Give us about 30 seconds, and then if Micromap doesn't. Oh, yay! That's awesome. That's so cool. We'd love to see it. We'd love to see old growth. There's actually some spots in the local metro parks that are not technically in the old growth forest network, but I think they qualify as old growth like by the like requirements for being old growth. It's just because they're in the metro parks, like they're their own kind of thing. But you know, I have permission to gather from there. Don't collect things from the metro parks without permission. Oh, it failed. No, that one looked cool. Sad. Darn. I was excited. I wanted to see who he was. Yeah, there's one near me called Johnson Woods. It is like this gorgeous beach, swamp white oak kind of bottomland. Like it's very swampy. It's great. Oh geez. Like bureaucratic slowdowns, that's a pain. But yeah. Ohio and yeah, Florida. I would be unlucky and end up just like touching a manchineal tree and hating everything. Probably. Oh, jeez, what is happening? Like, I would probably have a very bad day in Florida. There's also like more poisonous animals down there and like poisonous plants and like we only have a couple venomous snakes in Ohio, right? We have like one rattlesnake species and cottonmouth, I think. But that's not a lot. Like those are pretty easy to keep track of. I don't really want to run afoul of like Florida and all the things in Florida that could kill you. Also, I would probably die because I wouldn't be able to breathe because of humidity. Like, I could go in winter, but oh my god, Florida in the summer, I would actually die. Yeah. Mm-mm. I'm not too worried about shark bites, though, just because the sharks, they don't want to eat me. They want to eat seals and manatees or something like that. But yeah, I'm not made for Florida. Um, I'm gonna admit I have a bit of a possibly justified phobia of being caught in like a heat of a wet bulb event. Um, I don't want to risk that. So I don't know if I'll ever actually travel to Florida in the summer because I don't want to like die because it gets hot and humid and the power goes out. I'm probably being irrational, but that's fair. Okay, so I realize I should probably be talking through Eugene again. Let's do it slower. So what I did, so I opened my FastQ, we saved alignment, we aligned it, we aligned this with Maft, and then let's back up and I'll show you what I did. Oh goodness, it's gonna be annoying, isn't it? Yeah. So after I aligned it once, you type in AGG at cata. So AGG ATCATTA. So that's like a conserved motif we're looking for, right? The group of reads that has agat cata in it is going to be your forward read group. So we want to select the ones that aren't the forward read group, right click, go to edit, and then replace selected rows with reverse complement. You want reverse complement, not reverse. And then align it again. And then I copied over the original nanopore sequence that spit out, which you can copy by just copy sequence to clipboard here on Mycomap. And then I copied it into my project here, exported it as a new alignment, so export sequences as alignment. And then we'll copy this consensus, copy consensus, and then align this. And this is just how I check to see if there's any spots that might have an ambiguity. Ambiguity meaning like there's two different haplotypes. One is one letter, one is another letter. So then I'm just going to go through and select a small chunk of DNA to check and see if I think I need to justifiably add an ambiguous nucleotide. This is a weird one. So, mm, mm, I'm not going to add that T in because it could be duplicates from here. Sometimes I will. One of the parents here probably has an extra, like a duplication of this T. So one of the haplotypes probably has one less T here than the other one. Uh, it's okay. It's not the end of the world if I don't change that. Right? I haven't decided yet. So here, so see how it's like 53-44? Like this is pretty close. Like this is about 50%, right? So one of the parents here probably has, yeah, okay, actually, I am going to go out of the T. So if you look, every place there's a C here, there's also this duplicate T. So it looks like the parent that has a C in this position has an extra T in this position. And there is not an ambiguous nucleotide that covers a nucleotide and then a gap. So in that case, I'm actually going to go in and add the T in. That's what I usually do. I wish there was a way to indicate like that one of the haplotypes is probably doesn't have it, but a lot of the um, older sequencing methods really don't give you the ability to see the different haplotypes as clearly. So yeah, here's another case where there's a C and a T. That looks solid. And then C and a T. Like TC is like your most common ambiguity, right? Like Y is going to be your most common, so it's a pretty safe one. Did not mean to open Discord there. So we're just going to edit that sequence. I'm going to like let this reblast before I actually go through and finish validating this one, but hopefully that's a little help. I'll try to do some more sequence editing on the next one. Like I'll try to maybe pull out some and just flag a bunch. So hopefully we can like get a couple in a row that have like difficult sequence edits, because this one isn't even really that hard. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it quits because it's like 10:40 and I want to go watch like stupid anime and have a beer. So thank you for watching. I hope some of this was helpful. I hope some of this will be helpful to people. Hopefully as I do these too, I can make these more interesting. But yeah. Any questions before I log out? Shut the stream down? All that jazz? Facebook, yeah, I have an Instagram. I don't really use it that much. I probably should. I'm bad at social media. I'm not I'm like an old lady that doesn't use social media very well. Uh but yeah, I'm definitely on Facebook. So you can find me on Facebook. Most of the posts are on Facebook. Honestly, I'm also on iNat. Like a great way to contact me um is just to message me on iNat too, because unlike some people, I actually check my notifications. It drives me up a tree if these are you know, red. So I need to see them. But you can just go to my profile and message me. It's Laughlin on iNat, but also Facebook. I check my messages. Um, I probably should get like a page on Facebook. Yeah, you probably. Yay! Yeah, you can friend me on Facebook too. It's just Jessica Williams. I'm the name's kind of hard to find, but there should be plenty of like associated friends, so it should be okay. Um, but yeah. I also have, so I do have this website I'm like slowly working on. I haven't had much of a chance to work on it recently. Yeah, I think I've seen you. Um, I haven't had much of a chance to work on it recently because I've been busy. But basically, what I'm hoping to have eventually is kind of like a East Coast analog to what Danny has like here for all the Pacific Northwest specimens, and just like breakdowns of what species we've confirmed for the area, what species we have temp codes for, kind of just basic like um info about stuff, because like I do get a lot of questions about like, oh, what do the temp codes mean? Like, can we help? And I'm hoping doing this will help clear some stuff up in the long run. Um, without the intensity of writing a paper, right? Uh, it's very work in progress right now. I barely have anything in here, but I'm working on it. I am working on it slowly. So we'll definitely have more. Oh, you're fungi. Okay. I should have known that. But yeah. Hopefully this website will get updated more. This is like, it looks like straight out of the 90s because I'm not a web designer and I don't need this to be complicated. But yeah, that's all for tonight. I will see y'all later. Yeah? Have a great day. Bye-bye.